3, 2, 1.
And welcome to The Watch with Eric Dempsey. And I'm
Eric who?
Eric who? Oh, I'm messing up all kind of stuff over here today on that. Eric Woodson. I got Eric Dempsey on the brain here. Let's push that back here. So let's push that area. There gives us a little bit more range there.
Yeah,
There you
that
go.
looks good.
That's better. That looks a lot better on that. Okay, and excuse me, Dr. Joe with Eric Woodson. Yes, the Woodman on that. And everybody out there on Facebook Live, I hope everybody's doing great out there and having a great day. Miss Pat, I hope you're doing okay.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Let's see if I can get us on here and see if we're doing good. I think we're doing great, and I think I'm looking. I think are we on the watch?
We are on the watch.
We are on the watch. Let's see if I can.
We're on the watch.
There we are. Okay, and I'm pulling that up to make sure that all of our loyal fans and good people, and we've got great audio. So
Yeah.
good. All right. So maybe
I'm kind of soggy, and I got a new phone. So
a new phone.
I've got
an
an iPhone 7,
Oh,
a smartphone, and I'm just not smart enough to use it.
we don't even have iPhone 7s.
No.
Yeah, well,
We've got the,
nobody's ever going to believe who got it for me, but anyway,
I'll bet you I know.
go ahead, take a
Does it
guess.
start with? Does the first name start with an L?
Yes, it does.
That is hard to believe, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's on her way. Well, she's probably in Atlanta right now.
Stacey, how you doing, Stacey?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not seeing anybody. Now, what's going on here?
Wait a minute. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
seeing anybody talking.
Yours is messed up. All right, we got Pat Coley
There it is.
on that. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land and in Facebook land out there, and I think it's a rainy day in Georgia.
It's nasty out there. The highways are a lot of water standing on the highways. There's also, I'm sure most people know by now, there is a weather advisory for the low-lying areas, flash floods. There's a warning out to be on the lookout for flash floods, water coming down through their unsuspecting people that down the low areas. So if you're down in the, I don't know if you're in the creek areas or the low-lying areas, these roads that go down to bridges and stuff, you just be looking for standing water on the roads and stuff. But so, Dr. Joe, an interesting week.
An interesting week.
It's an interesting weekend, and
you're talking about low-lying areas, and I was thinking about low lives on that. An interesting week at the OK Corral, the Wild Wild West in Columbus, Georgia. On that.
Are we going to talk about some of
us?
us?
About Jeopardy for $250. Who got shot today? Okay.
I don't know if anybody's gotten shot so far today.
I've got great news, Eric.
What's that?
I got great news, everybody out there. Guess what? I was watching one of our elected officials on television here, on the internet and television, and it's all been solved. We're a gun culture.
Oh.
That's what's causing all these crimes.
Well, I thought it was because we lived in an unstable area where things are unstable. You know
what? That was the next thing I was going to say.
Because crime is coming in clusters, and we're all getting unstable.
We're clustering it.
How about Queen Mother? We are feeling unsafe.
You know what I think, and I can't say this on Christian radio. I'm thinking of two words. One does begin with cluster. And the second one I can't say.
Yeah, everybody in the military knows all about clusters.
Yes, because that's what's going on out there.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Okay. We're actually being told that we live in a...
Where do you want to start?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, do you want to start with the media, with their easy softball questions to the mayor? Oh, Mayor, there's a few people out there saying that you're not doing enough and other people aren't doing enough, and they're holding you to blame. Well, let's clear that up right now. No one is blaming the mayor of Columbus for crime, okay? We're not holding her accountable for the crime and the criminals. What people are saying is that she doesn't want to admit there is a problem and that we need some solutions to our current situation. Things are not working.
And you know what? I got news here, but and I've got a positive thing to counsel to the mayor, to all of our leaders. we've got a great city. We got a community, a great Chattahoochee Valley. We've got a great group of people, and we can handle problems. We can work it out. We've got good people. We've got great law enforcement people. We've got great judges. But first of all, it's just like you just said. We have to admit that there's a problem out there. Obviously, there's a problem. A blind, deaf, dumb, mute person could tell you there's a problem, and a serious, serious problem. I know of a senior official and I'm not going to say his name. On that said that, quote unquote, said it's a very dangerous time to live in Columbus, Georgia, or the Chattahoochee Valley. It doesn't take an idiot to look that up, because you know what? Literally, we're going every day.
Well, look, I don't know if we're going to talk about it now, but before I forget, I just want to cover a few things that, I think you posted the other day.
I did.
And we'll talk about it in detail, but about a poor lady got out of her car at Peachtree Mall in the middle of the day, okay, and had a gun shoved into her face.
Right, and not only did she, this wasn't caught on a camera. There's a whole bunch of people watch.
Witnesses, okay. Walgreens the other day, middle of the day, okay, middle of the day. Guy walks in to Walgreens with a rifle. Okay, not a pistol concealed under his shirt.
A rifle.
A rifle. Okay.
A full-size rifle.
We got Mr. Will over there in that neighborhood. Just posted the video of the robbery of his son's house for the third time. Got live action video right there in the carport of a gang of 5 or 6 guys, 4, 5, 6, whatever, a cluster. Kicking in his door. Kicking in his door in the middle of the day. All right? And then on top of that, we go back to the weekend where there was multiple deaths, multiple shootings. They want to say, well, it's not so bad. The one guy, he cut his arm, and that was domestic violence. So, and all this crap about we're trying to categorize the crime and saying it's not all related. It's not all this, it's not all that, trying to put it in a neat little package and say it's not so bad. Well, you know what? People that live here in this area and have lived here for years notice that things have changed. Okay? They have noticed that things are not good. Okay? And when you start going out and you start meeting your friends and your neighbors and your family, and they're telling you how their car got stolen, the door being kicked in the other day, oh, by the way, the little cluster of people, okay, they had stolen the car to go break into the house, okay? So here we have a car theft. Obviously, it is associated and linked to the home break-in where a gun was stolen. And oh, by the way, the white car and the gun could have possibly been used in the Peachtree armed robbery, okay? But the problem is the citizens don't know anything because we're not being told anything, okay? Not a word on the Walgreen holdup the other day with the guy with a rifle running down the street with a rifle in broad daylight, okay? Not one word on whether there's been an arrest made, or I suspect in a week or two we'll see the video, saying, hey, if you remember that, 2 weeks ago when you were maybe on Winton Road, did you see a guy running down the street with a rifle? We really need help. Or Crime Stoppers, a month or two, will offer you up to $1,000 if you can lead to the information and the arrest of conviction of this individual, which, 6 months later after you do get this guy convicted, you might get a check for $150, okay? We need to do better. And where do we want to go from here?
Well, I think there's a couple things too that need to be said. Is that the word that is most important here is resources. Resources is that. Let me tell you something. The court system. People. I hear people all the time saying, people are going in and out of the court system like we're wrong. That's true. Thank you, Lisa. That is absolutely true. But you know what? It's not the fault, and we're not pointing fingers. It is certainly not the fault of law enforcement, of the judges or the DA's office or the court system. They are overloaded, and what's going to happen is we're going we citizens, us, we're going to have to spend some money. We're going to have to spend some time. We're going to have to give more resources and make more allocate more resources to these particular groups so that they can handle these things. Because I'm going to tell you what, here's the situation. This is called reality. Okay? The reality is the judges are sitting there and they've got 25 criminals that have just committed serious crimes, and they have 5 spaces in the jail to put them in, and they're under federal court order where they have to obey that, and so they've got 25, and they can only put 5 into the facility when they want to, believe me, they want to put all 25 in there. So it's a question of, well, how do I rate them? And that's what's happening, is these people are coming in and they're out on bond, and then they commit the same crime, and they're back in jail the next week, and they're out on bond, they're doing it again. We have our probation officers, our probation officers are being assigned 150, 200 cases a week of probationers that they're supposed to be maintaining. That's impossible. That's absolutely impossible to do. So they don't have those resources that are available. We're 125 officers short, police officers short. You know, you cannot, no matter what kind of gun you've got, if you've got the best gun in the world, if you don't have ammunition for that gun, it's just a door, it's a door stop. It does nothing. Well, we have to be able to give the allocation of resources. And I'm going to say something. You know what? We all talk about the mayor and stuff like that. It's that kind of stuff. In Columbus, our council has 10 members. It takes 6 votes. Write it down. You said 6 votes to do anything in Columbus, Georgia. The mayor, let me make sure everybody understands. I'm not supporting or going against. I'm just quoting the fact. The mayor does not even get a vote on council unless there's a tie. And if 6 people on council,
wait, even for roundabouts, she doesn't get a vote. Oh, okay,
all right, on that. And so let's see what we got here. David, maybe dancing girls and remind us.
You got to keep a net on David.
Okay.
David's out there.
David.
Anyway, hey, I want to know real quick: is Dennis Stahl any relation to Craig Stahl? Because I think we ought to move Craig Stahl from the fire department over to the police department. He's got some experience out there with the Columbus hockey team, and I think he can get some criminals off the street. Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, no, the mayor. What is the mayor's deal? Okay, are we so afraid up in the ivory tower that we can't call out the criminals? Are we so politically correct? Are we so desperate that we're looking for votes for our next office, whether it be a congressional office or a senator seat? Because right now I'm telling you, Miss Mayor, you're not going to get any votes out of Columbus. Okay, your ship is going down here. Now you may be able to fool those people up around Atlanta and the suburbs up there, Buckhead, and some of those places up there that you need to be in Washington. But you're not going to get to Washington on your ticket from down here, okay? Roundabouts and, raising the taxes on people's property that they're upset about, they're not going to focus that on them for long. And saying that there's nothing we can do, or telling the news person the other night, oh, we're working hard. Where's that coming from?
That's coming from your phone.
It's coming from that phone over there. Anyway, there's nothing we can do. Well, you know what? We can train citizens to protect their homes and their neighborhoods. There ought to be some grant money for protecting, for teaching citizens how to interact with the police and protect their neighborhoods. We should have classes, given within the PTA or whatever, how to protect our kids to and from school and how to look out for drug dealers and people that are trying to prey on our kids, sex offenders or anything like that. There could be some kind of program that we encourage the local businesses to hire off-duty police officers, even if it's on a part-time basis, not every day, every other day, on a rotating schedule where they pop in unannounced to the Circle K's, to the gas stations, to these, to the Verizon stores or whatever. And then along with the regular patrols and stuff on a regular basis in a certain precinct, you could have a map of where we're going to stop, we're going to try to stop, depending on the calls. and make sure that these businesses welcome them with open arms and show them they're appreciated.
And I brought this up before, Eric, and what's happening, this is typical of politicians, period, okay, is there is a political shell game going on. And I'm going to tell you, go down, if you don't believe me, call Judge Walter Kennan, fine man, outstanding judge. We're very lucky to have him. Judge Loudermilk, those are both juvenile court judges, and talk to them, and they'll talk to you and ask them. What's happening is a huge percentage of these home invasions, burglaries, armed robberies are being committed by people that are 16, 17 years old. Juveniles. And see, you know what they're doing? Because of that, because of the way the system is set up, this is the shell game. They're saying, no, we only count armed robberies by adults. We don't add juvenile crime or juveniles that commit crime into those statistics. I know what I'm talking about. I've checked it. You know, you hear about the FBI, the FBI statistics. The mayor came back and said that in 2015 the crime was lower than it was in 2012. That was using the FBI's Uniform Crime Report. The FBI's Uniform Crime Report, first of all, is voluntary. It is not mandatory. Second of all, they only take what is reported to them, and they only take cleared crimes, which means if we had 25 armed robberies in Columbus, and 5 of them were cleared by arrest or dismissed, whatever, they're going to count 5 armed robberies, not 25.
So everybody understands that. The case has to be cleared and solved before it's reported. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly correct.
Okay, then we got a bunch of crime that's not getting reported.
And then they do not add the crimes committed by juveniles in those numbers. And let me tell you something. What is said on there is not who committed the crime. It's supposed to be how many crimes were committed. But what happens is, if a 17-year-old goes out and does a home invasion, an armed robbery, a rape, shoots somebody, or murder, they don't count that in that uniform crime. It's a separate report. So it's a shell game. They go, oh yeah. Now, if you added adult crime and, quote, juvenile crime to those together, we're off the charts.
Yeah.
And, again, we have to give law enforcement, the court systems, it's our choice on that, the resources.
How about...
Now, one thing I do want to take too, also, I did take one very big exception to somebody may have said. Well, I took several things, but one is about this being a gun culture. This is this huge old Democrat left-wing.
Don't even get me started.
Out there on that. Let me tell you something. I'm a Southerner. I've been here all my life. My family's been here for 200 years and in the South. Gun culture. We had more guns when I was growing up in the 60s and 70s than we'll ever have right now. My grandmother carried a pistol. And let me tell you something. We'd have 100th the crime that we have right now. Yeah. And so gun culture, it doesn't take a smart person or even a dumb person to realize criminals are not going out. Felons are not going out and buying guns at gun stores or Kmart or Walmart.
That's right. There's something called a background check.
Yeah, going out there and committing these crimes.
And they're not downtown getting their gun permit for concealed carry because they can't get them.
Remember the years for all you old people like me. There used to be a Wendy's commercial where the old woman said, "Show me the beef," show me the beef, and then there was the movie with Tom Cruise said, "Show me the money, show me the money." Well, you know what? Show me. I want to see it from like me from Missouri. Show me these convicted felons. Now they're saying, yeah, well, these are convicted felons in possession of a gun. How did they get that? They got it because they stole it. Yeah. On that, so what you're going to blame me?
Every convicted felon that gets caught with a gun committing a crime,
Tony, welcome to the show,
should get 10 years up front from the federal justice system. It is illegal in every state in the union for a felon to have a gun, okay? And if he's committing a crime, that should be 10 years on top of whatever the crime is added on there.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something, and an indicator of how that works, because that will make a difference. Let me make a point on that. It's very interesting. Is Eric can tell you, and I can tell you, we were in the military and law enforcement. If you take a semi-automatic assault rifle, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't take much to know how. It's very, very easy to convert a semi-automatic assault weapon into a fully automatic weapon.
They've made it harder down through the years.
But here's the question. With that said, and you still go, there's lots of places you can legally get fully automatic weapons, Mexico, places like that. Here's the question. why do we not see more crimes committed? What's the last time you've heard about somebody in Columbus using a fully automatic weapon in a crime? You don't. You know why?
Yeah.
You know why? Because the federal government, if you commit a crime with a fully automatic weapon, it's life in prison. Life. There's no criminal prison. So what I'm saying is, if we said, hey, you even have a plastic toy cap gun, pistol, weapon, period, and you get, in addition to whatever you get, you're going to get 10 years.
Let me say a word about the gun culture, okay? Now, I'm retired military, so obviously I've handled a lot of firearms in my life, okay? I was handling firearms before I went in. I was
Can I be
handling...
sarcastic for a second? And I'm a Southerner, so according to some people, I'm a member of the gun culture, so I know I've had a lot of guns.
Well, anyway, yeah, I grew up in a gun family. I was taught to hunt, went into the military. Okay, but let's talk just here in Columbus, Georgia. What do we have over here to the southeast of us? You know, it's that place called Fort Benning.
Fort Benning.
There's more guns out there than you know what to do with, and they shoot everything from little bullets to big bullets. Okay. When's the last time you heard about a bunch of military guys going crazy coming into Columbus, shooting up Columbus because we're a gun culture? Okay. All the veterans that have retired that have served everything from Vietnam. Well, let's go before Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, Desert Storm. Where are all those crazy gun culture people just shooting up Columbus every night? You know why? Because it's not the law-abiding citizen out there. It's the criminal types that are committing the crimes.
I got a question for Eric. A little trivia question. This is true, though, out there. Eric, there's only one state in the United States, out of the 50 states, there's one state that there's no gun permits needed. If you were 18 and you are not a convicted felon, you may buy a firearm whatsoever in that state. Handgun, rifle, shotgun, you can carry it anywhere. You don't need a gun permit. You don't need a concealed weapons permit. You know what state that is?
The maple syrup state?
Vermont. Vermont. On that. In the state of Vermont, because they are very big on the Constitution of the Second Amendment. Now, guess what? Guess what state in the United States has the lowest firearms-related crime rate in the United States?
The same state?
Vermont.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you know, I think the second or third lowest state for lowest firearms-related crimes in the country is Alaska. Alaska has more firearms per capita per person.
This excuse of our firearms culture, our gun culture, blah blah blah. Yeah, you know what? Somebody said it on the watch the other day. It was like I'm watching Charlie Brown and listening to Charlie Brown's teacher on school. And what was it? Wah 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 wah. Yeah, okay. There's nothing. The gun culture has nothing to do with it. Okay. Now, if you want to talk the gang culture and the projected, the media and the movies and this is the way you should live, you know. But then again, you got to be politically correct. You can't say stuff like that, you know, because it doesn't get you votes when you go to Atlanta. And we all know that certain people need certain people to vote for them to get into office again, okay? So if you're scared, say you're scared, and get your guard dog and let the guard dog do the talking for you. I want to fall back on something as far as what we can do to fight crime here in this area. As far as Columbus goes, give the Columbus Police Department a decent salary. Give them decent working conditions. Give them working equipment like their vehicles and stuff that have air conditioning and tires and stuff so they can chase.
Give the court system the amount of people they need.
Give them some educational benefits. I don't care what you have to do. Work with local businesses and stuff to get them overtime so that they can afford to raise their families.
Build another prison. Build 3 if we need it.
Yeah. Got plenty of room out there.
We got plenty of abandoned. Their schools are no longer.
Chicago Road's got more room for prisons out there. We got Fort Benning will lend you some barracks out there. I'm sure they got plenty of.
We had Joe Prio out here from Arizona. You know, he put up some tents.
Tents and pink underwear.
Pink underwear. That's true. Sheriff Prio out there, Joe Prio, on that. Went all the way to the Supreme Court, said he could do that.
But if you know, people are talking about the morale and people leaving, going to these other departments and stuff. There's got to be something to it. I mean, it can't be just a bunch of unstable citizens out there making all this stuff up.
And before somebody says about, I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something. Both of us have children, both of us have family, and I'm going to tell you what, I'm the first person to come out and say, and I want to say this. I understand people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. All of us have. And you know what? I am all in favor of helping people to get their life on the right track again. And I'm talking about people that went to jail or got charged with crimes. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect on that. And I'm all in favor of that. We're talking about this plethora of hardcore criminals. That this isn't one time. This isn't 2 times. This isn't 3 times. This is 15 times. These are people that literally, Pat and I recently, we did some, Chaplain Neil Richardson out at the Civic County Jail, a wonderful man, we did some ministry out there working out of the jail. We actually met people in the jail that, and Pat will tell you this, that said, and I'm telling you before God, said, well, I'll tell you what I do is I go out and, I just raise holy HGWL toothpicks and rob and steal and have as great of a fun time as I can until I get caught. And then I go in and I do maybe 6 months, 8 months, and I go to see my friends in there and we hang out and and then I get back out and then I do it again. And so the problem is that hey Allison, how are you? That Pete, there is no, like I said, I want to help. I'm in favor. Neil Richardson works in jail. That the Sheriff Tompkins, our former Sheriff Dart, the programs out there, the faith-based dorm out there, the veterans dorm, they're helping people to get. They're coming back into our society. I'm all in favor of that. What we're saying is that it's gotten absurd that people. I don't know about you, Eric. I am Pat, literally to the point that at 9 o'clock at night, that we say, hey, I forgot to put the garbage out. That I feel necessity to put a pistol in my pocket when I'm walking out in my yard to go. And you know what? And it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter where it is. Are we exaggerating when we're saying like every night? Thank you, Stacy. Once again, Stacy says, I won't say what's Stacy's interesting choice words.
Come on,
the heck with building more.
Stacy, say what you really mean. Quit beating around the bush, Stacy.
Stacy, screw building more prisons. Tennessee should be used. Air conditioned facilities and TVs and minis are BS. I agree. If they didn't have it, they wouldn't want to return. Scott says, get rid of the 5-star prisons. Okay, Scott. David, do you know if I put your phone in a cereal bowl, the volume increases? Well, that's interesting. And is it a big bowl?
David, what are you doing eating cereal at lunchtime? Okay, we're gonna have to have a serious talk.
David is a man of extraordinary caliber.
Yeah,
he's on that. He's
what caliber do you think he is? At least
he's up there.
I'd say he's at least 30 caliber.
At least 30 caliber.
Yeah.
On that. Allison, people who want to leave the city because of the crime, and not people want to leave the city because of the crime, and not enough is being done.
Allison, hey, I'm telling you, Troup County's filling up. Harris County's filling up. And oh, by the way, let's say a word about Harris County over there and Sheriff Mike Jolly. Who's I'm told is on the road right now with the Miracle Riders, doing good work. But you know what? You don't hear these horror stories coming out of Harris County. You know why? Because the people over in Harris County get together, and the sheriff gets together with all his people, and they chase people out of Harris County when they get to be a problem. They chase them to Columbus.
And I'll tell you something too.
Or they catch them.
I'll tell you something too. Mike Jolly, Sheriff Jolly, is the first one to help rehabilitate somebody. He works at that. But you know what? He always tells them, he says, look, you know what? You come to my jail, it's almost like Andy Gray. He says, you come to my jail and you act right, you'll be treated well. He goes, you act like you're going to be a problem, it's going to be the worst experience of your life.
And another word, over in Lee County, you got Sheriff Jay Jones. Okay, last night we got to give him. Now this is just a minor thing, but it shows good work. There was a call about some juveniles parked out somewhere on some Lee County road somewhere. I want to say, off the top of my head, you just kind of.
By the way, Scott says that's why the mayor doesn't live in
Oh
Columbus.
yeah, well we don't want to go. We don't want to go to Harris County.
Did you, Mayor? I thought you lived in Columbus.
Lee County went out, I believe, I'll just throw this out there. Lee Road 2044, juveniles parked, whatever, talking about the politics of the day or whatever. But one of the juveniles when they were checked out, apparently had a stolen firearm on him. And guess what? Mr. Juvenile was on his way to Opelika to the juvenile intake. Okay, so good morale, good police work leads to arrests that get some of these people off the street. Okay, there was no reason for a juvenile to be running around with a gun, let alone a stolen gun. Okay, so over here in Columbus, we need to get the morale back up. We need to get behind the police department and stuff. Now, yeah. At the same time, don't get me wrong. Okay, I don't see everything one way all the time. Okay, if someone makes a mistake, yeah, I'm gonna be saying this doesn't make sense, or that's not totally right, or I don't totally agree with that. Okay, I don't see everything in black and white, and black and blue and white, and red and white, whatever. We got to look at incidents as they happen and call them like we see them, and see if they pass the common sense test. But from what I'm hearing, the police department's not happy, and there needs to be some major changes. And I think the next mayor coming in, because you know what? This mayor's on the way out, okay? She's looking for her next job. She's looking for the next roundabout that she's going to build, or the next, her swan song is going to be the new government center, I guess, which I don't know, if she's going to take credit for that or what. But the thing we need to focus on are conditions down here, and we need to stop telling everybody how great things are in Columbus with the white water, and we got another zip line, zippity-doo-dah day. How many people have we had killed in the last 2 weeks? How many people we had shot? How many people had their traumatized by having guns shoved in their face when they're out in broad daylight? Okay, these people are not doing the risky behavior. Okay, they're just going about their life trying to shop and get out in a parking lot or leave their home and come back without having the doors kicked in and a bunch of goofballs, running around. Okay, it's not risky behavior leads to this criminal activity. Okay, it's real citizens having their cars stolen, real citizens having guns shoved in their faces.
At 1:30 in the afternoon, it makes
and
sense.
The only solution is, if the elected people aren't going to admit there's a problem, then the citizens have to get out there, find somebody to give them some training, and find out how they're going to protect their family, their homes, and how they're going to protect themselves when they're out in public. And they're going to have to change their mindset that they're not living in Never Never Land anymore, okay? That there is a possibility that they're going to be the victim of a crime when they're out here running around town. And could be anytime. You're pulling up and you're getting gas at the gas station. You're at the teller machine. You're going into Publix. You're going into one of the restaurants. Last year, well, bring it up again. Lady at Outback.
I was a little bit confused about that, by the way. It seemed like.
What's that? Confused about what?
It seemed like when the mayor was talking, it seems like she was implying, maybe I'm wrong, that the fact that we have crime all over Columbus is better than if we had it in one area.
Yeah, well, maybe we could get all the criminals to go to her house.
There you go.
Okay. Well, of course, now the Democrats are going to be running around going, "He's inciting violence. He's inciting violence." No. My name is Woodson. It's not Trump. Okay, so don't even try and go there with that mindset. Okay. I had a good point there, and another part of her interview was that this is all being stirred up by people that are against her, that didn't vote for her, or elected people that are going to be running or something, or other politicians or something. Well, guess what? Joe's not running for any office that I know of. I'm not running for any office, and most of the people that I talk to online aren't running for any office. Okay, so you can take that and throw that out with the baby in the bathwater, because that ain't floating either.
And we're going to take a dime for this show.
No political person is wound me up and sent me in here. And, if they did, they'd have to write me a pretty good check, okay, before I'm going to rubber stamp and, be wound up to say something.
And I'll tell you what, I'll invite, at least, I would be at your show. I wouldn't be object. I don't care if any of the people we're talking about. You want to come on the show. Come on,
Well, I'll tell you what, and I'll tell this to the mayor. I told the mayor, I've been saying this I was in the mayor's office 4.5 years ago, giving her ideas of what could have been implemented back then. Now, some of those ideas were never acted on, okay? And one sheriff in a locality, I don't know if he heard about it or it just came to him in a vision or something, but he acted on the one thing, and that was to bring all the heads of the law enforcement together and start working closer together and sharing information across state lines. And as far as I know, that has worked, and that was one of the things. Now, the other idea is you get some of that grant money that you hand out every year, and you set up either, I don't know, because the police department supposedly already has a neighborhood watch program and stuff, but I'd like to know when the last meeting in a neighborhood was and where it was at and who attended it. And, oh, by the way, you know, this stuff of attending a neighborhood watch meeting in Columbus, and anybody out there that's ever been to one, but, they show up and somebody comes up and says, oh, well, here are the computerized statistics right here of your neighborhood, and, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Well, you tell the people that have had a gun shoved in their face or had their house shot up that it's not so bad, okay? Quit with these statistics. I don't give a hoot and where about the statistics of 2008, 2009, or in the Ledger Inquirer's last article about 2014, okay? It's 2017, and things are not good, okay? I don't care how they are in Chicago. I don't care how they are in Atlanta. We're talking about here. Citizens need to learn. If you want to take the military mindset, you're going to have to start thinking like you're in Beirut.
Also, you also have to use a little bit of common sense.
Common sense goes along.
Okay, a little bit of logic. Okay, so what we might want to ask ourselves is this: let's go back to 1975 in Columbus. All right. So if we say, what did we have in 1975, or what didn't we have in 1975 that kept our crime rate where it was then compared to now? Because I can tell you, because I was here in 1975, I was here in 1965, I've been here 50 years, and I can tell you right now that in Columbus, Georgia, at Peachtree Mall, I was there the day Peachtree Mall opened. And I could have walked around the parking lot of Peachtree Mall with $100 bills, shaking them on that. I could have had my car open, my house open on that. It didn't happen on that. We had some rare events. Does it happen? Yes. But to this frequency, we had a serial killer in the late 70s in Columbus. Stuff happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
He's still around, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still waiting to be executed. That's our system. But you know what? The frequency, it was unheard of. It was very, very, very rare. I mean, if we'd had a person that had been robbed anywhere in Columbus, it was big, big news. Pat, I think you grew up. Pat, you grew up in Benning Hills, right?
Yes, I did.
You went to Eddie, Benning Hills Elementary, and you went to Spencer, correct?
Yes, I did.
South Columbus, right?
South Columbus.
Did you walk to school every day?
Every day.
On that, did you ever? This was in the late 70s and the 80s, right?
Well, it was all in the 80s.
On the
80 to 84.
I mean, you mean elementary school.
Elementary, I was bused.
Did you? Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever feel? You used to walk from Benning Hills down to the Burger King there, Victory Drive? Did you ever feel unsafe?
No.
You used to go to Oakland Park and walk over there and see your friends over there. Did you ever feel that you were in danger?
No.
Did you ever have anybody pull a gun on you?
No.
Did you ever have anybody shoot? Did you have gunfire when you were out there walking around or with your friends?
I have, yes.
I mean, back then.
Yes.
You had gunfire back then?
No, I wouldn't say gunfire. They have it a lot more now. Back then it was just maybe on the 4th of July or something.
No, I'm talking about crime, Pat. I'm talking about
not crime.
Did your mother or family have to say, I'm afraid of you walking around Oakland Park?
No.
Were you over there at night?
Yes.
Did you go to the park over there in Oakland Park?
Yes.
Did you go to the park in Benning Hills?
Yes.
On that? So what I'm saying, you went to Spencer High School.
Absolutely.
So would you say, be very honest, that you felt in the 1980s safe there, living there?
Oh, yes. I walked up and down Victory Drive.
I think the mayor ought to come out and say, that she's going to start taking some nightly walks down Old Casita or Casita Road, and meet with some of the people down there, and these news reports, they're like 30 seconds long, and you got like 10 seconds of somebody saying this and 10 seconds of somebody saying that. I think the citizens, WTVM, WRBL, get out there and start interviewing the citizens and ask them what they think, instead of a 20-second blurb from the mayor saying, "Oh, it's reactionary, it's politicians, it's unstable, it's just look, the statistics from 2016 and 2008 and it ain't working no more. Nobody's believing it. I don't believe it. I don't think anybody believes it. I don't think it can stand for scrutiny for long. And it's certainly anybody, that lady that had the gun shoved in her face at Peachtree Mall the other night, I bet she's not believing it. I believe that she was traumatized, and she probably doesn't want to go to the mall by herself ever again, I mean, it is ridiculous. And I'm just going to go back to it.
I happen to know somebody who knows that person.
Yeah.
And they flat said, she said that she is so traumatized by that, she said she's never going to go Peachtree.
There was a couple years ago, I can't remember the name of the individual. I think he was either with CPD or he was with the Muskogee County Sheriff. He was at the mall with his son and either witnessed a robbery in progress or he was the victim. And because his son was there and stuff, he was worried about acting in his capacity as a law enforcement officer because of the safety of his son and the safety of bystanders, and didn't do everything he could do. And that was a law enforcement officer. So, we need somebody like, we need a chief of police to come in like Mad Dog Mattis, okay? And take no prisoners.
The news flash just came in and said that there's heavy flooding in Phoenix City right now. So please be careful out there. There had been a flash flood warning. There's heavy flooding in Phoenix City.
I certainly hope that nobody's down on the Riverwalk getting on the rocks this time of day, because sooner or later those floodgates are going to open and the water's going to go up.
You've got to be careful. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So, folks, look, it's like I always say on every one of these shows. If you're not happy with the way things are going, if you're not happy with the excuses, if you're not happy with what's coming out of the Crystal Palace, you need to get off your rear ends and start picking up the phone, start writing people, start calling your city councilors and saying, look, we're tired of this stuff. Okay? There is things that can be done.
Yes, there is.
And to say that there's nothing that can be done or this is the way things have always been is defeatist talk. It's giving up. It's not even trying to fight back. And I want to say this. It seems like ever since the Kenny Walker situation around 2002, 2003, the city has been scared to go after criminals. Okay? They've chases and we're not going to do this and we're just not going to go after people. There used to be something called the Jump Out Squad. They went out into these high crime areas and they went after the criminals. Okay? Maybe that needs to be brought back. Okay? Maybe the police officers need to be told, go out, do your job, we got your back, and let's clean some of this stuff up, and let's not make it, and I don't care if it's juveniles doing it or people of age, they need to know that this area, and I'm talking as an area, both sides of the river, it's not going to be tolerated, and the citizens are not going to tolerate it, and the citizens are behind all the law enforcement, and we're going to work together. And if you're going to commit these crimes, that you're going to go to jail, and hopefully you're going to do some jail time.
You know what? Just one of the dumb things. I got to say this out there to business owners out there. I see some of these businesses and places that put up a sticker that says firearm, which is their right to do. It's private property. Okay, but they put up these stickers saying no firearms allowed. Your firearms are forbidden on that. Let me ask you something to those people. Do you really think, are you so naive that you think that a criminal that has a concealed pistol is going to go, oh gosh, you know what? It says no firearms.
I better not go in there.
I better not go in there. I better go put it back in the car before I go into this business. That's ridiculous. The only people that is going to do that is a law-abiding citizen that takes out a firearm. And we've had here in the Chattahoochee Valley, not in Chicago, not in Los Angeles, here in the Chattahoochee Valley, we've had, and I could name them, numerous cases in the past year of legally armed citizens that were instrumental in stopping a crime in progress and keeping people from being having violence brought upon them by criminals. And so let me tell you something. Just to have this philosophy of saying, you know what, we're going to take people, we're going to put up this sign because we don't want guns in this place. If you really think, do you really think at Columbus State University that if there are students there that are illegally, that are bad people, you think they're going to go, you know what, I better not carry this pistol on campus because it says I'm not allowed to.
I might get in trouble.
I might get in trouble.
Yeah.
They are in trouble. They're criminals. That's why they're doing that on that. You know, and you know, I mean, that's just absurd. That's almost like that's as stupid as saying, oh, a bank robber is going to walk up to a bank and say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to rob this bank, but it says no firearms allowed. I can't. You know, I'm going to have to go there.
Hey, we've been railing on this hot topic and stuff, and the reason we decided we were going to talk about this because the news reporting of it the other night was just so ridiculous,
pathetic, ridiculous,
you know,
unrealistic.
Why is it that the media cannot ask the hard questions and you know, one time, oh, Mayor, what's the story on this? Oh, it's all reactionary. It's all unstable people saying this stuff. It's not true. Okay, all right. I guess all these reports and all these people listening to the scanner are just unstable. I guess they're just reactionary and they're all running for political office and they're just making all this stuff up. That's not happening.
Well, also, too, you know, I think the issue is that, hey, sometimes, you know, our leaders may have to tell us answers that we necessarily don't want to hear, but they're the truth.
Well,
you know, and that's, you know, and, you know, I mean, if I go to a doctor and I've got stage 4 cancer, I don't want the doctor coming there saying, oh, well, you've got a slight bout of cancer, and, you know, it's not that big of a deal. If it's that bad, if I've got, I don't want that doctor to say, you've got stage 4 cancer. Here's what the possibilities are. From the worst case scenario to the best case scenario, and just be honest and be truthful about it. And that's what we're saying. I don't think it is unreasonable that that people in the Chattahoochee Valley are simply saying, hey, let's just admit we've got a crime problem, and we'll work together because there's a heck of a lot more of us than there are of them that will work together to eradicate this problem. And it's completely possible. We can do it. We can do it together, but we have to look and realize. I mean, because you know what? It just, and I know you out there. I feel so insulted when I hear a local community leader look at me and go, "Oh no, there's no crime. It's not as bad as you think it is." You know, I mean, it is.
You know, there was it went for almost 24 hours to Phoenix City, you know, because they have the encrypted radio system. Nobody knew anything about it until, I think, one of the news agencies. But the other night, 16th Avenue, man was shot in a drive-by. And they didn't even call it a drive-by. You know, it was like he was standing in his front yard, car went by, and somebody shot a bunch of bullets. And I think more than one person was hit and needed medical attention. But I guess he was the worst. He had a serious leg wound. I don't know. Hey, I'll throw this out there real quick. I'm dying to know what Carol Jamison said that was hilarious, Stacey. But you know, maybe
Carol,
anyway. But somebody call in with something positive. I hate
0542.
I'd hate to think that there's nothing positive going on out there. You know, I know there's the Columbus Rocks program where you're painting the rocks and sticking them out there for people to find. You know, and
I would like to say something positive.
Okay.
On that, I'd like to send a special congratulations out there to the Harris County High School shotgun team for whose senior division are the national champions. The national champions. They just won. They won. They were the Georgia State champions, and the senior division of the shotgun. They actually have in Harris County High School. Maybe that's what we need here. They have a shotgun team, and the Harris County shotgun team, their senior division, just won. I believe it was in Ohio. Hello, Ramona. Has just won in, I believe it was in Ohio, the national champion, and they are going to be going to the world championships on that. So congratulations to them, and thank you to
congratulations to those young people that are obviously part of gun culture.
Part of the gun culture. That's right. The gun culture. I love that. Yeah. The gun culture. We all get together and we say, we hold up our pistols.
If the mayor had any idea how many veterans are running around and how many active duty guys between the active duty and the retired guys, we could field an army just on the privately owned guns that we've got, So this gun culture thing, being responsible for all the crime.
I had a local gun dealer friend of mine that has a.
You got a lot of friends that are gun dealers.
That has been I've known 40 years, and he told me that and I think I've said this before, that in the last 2 years he sold more handguns and self-defense type guns in the last 2 years than in the last 30 years combined. And I'll tell you what, these weren't felons that were coming and buying them. These were people that came in and think we have a crime problem in Columbus.
It is a serious offense.
Carol would like to know too.
If you're a criminal and you go in and you fill
welcome.
And you fill out a what's the form that you have to fill out?
7743.
Yeah, and it's a federal form, and it says this is serious jail time if you fill out this form and you lie on this form. In other words, you're a criminal or you're mentally deficient or
and they do check.
You have a drug problem or something, and we run this form and we find out that you're lying, that you're actually a criminal. Or even if you're going in knowingly to buy a gun for a felon or something, it's called a straw purchase. The problem is that they don't follow up. The federales don't follow up and prosecute these people, and that's what needs to happen. You get caught with a stolen gun, committed a crime, that should be 10 years. Not plea bargain down, okay? 10 years on top of whatever the crime it is, stolen car, or selling drugs, distribution, whatever. You were a felon in possession of a firearm. 10 years right there. That should be 10 years mandatory that you do the full 10 years, because it's a federal charge. But is it happening? I don't think so.
Well, we got about 4 minutes here before we're going to close out on the watch. Hey, I've got a great idea too. Do you think this would be positive? What if in the Chattahoochee, this is called sarcasm, everybody. What if in the Chattahoochee Valley, a large group of citizens from several different counties came together on like a social media page? It might even be able to get thousands of people that came together to work together to try to keep an eye on each other and our neighborhoods and our property and keep our community safe. And they could form this organization that people could come on, maybe even like Facebook or something like that.
You mean and call it like the Watch?
The Watch, yes. And it might get 14,000 people in it.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
That might be an idea.
We're almost 15.
Close to 15,000?
Yeah.
And this is called supreme sarcasm. Hey, mayors and councils, maybe you might want to ask the guy right here that just got 15,000 people to get on a watch organization that has been significant, those are the words of local sheriffs, in assisting hundreds of crimes on that.
Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that are coming from the, I believe it's the Columbus, Georgia page that closed down over the weekend, or closed on the 23rd or whatever the day the 23rd was, but a lot of good people, a lot of good citizens and family members and stuff that are coming from Columbus to the Watch, and we welcome you. And no matter what you heard or about me personally, or you heard about the Watch or the people on the Watch, come try the page out and see what you think about it, because rain or shine, our page competes with anything that's out there. Okay, we've got up to date. We've got the media following us.
I can actually.
We've got an online.
We got people like Stacy
that
on
we're
there
building right now.
Literally, am I inaccurate in this? That literally are putting out when crimes are happening quicker than it's getting out to law enforcement agencies.
It's probably going out quicker to the general public than
any
the
other
officers
source,
getting to the scene sometimes.
Literally within minutes.
And we used to do that all over the place, but with the encrypted radios and stuff, you know, we just can't break the encryption.
Fortunately,
We don't pretend.
Fortunately,
But
Stacey
what
does not
they
do
can't. What cannot be defeated is you, the citizen, seeing the crimes committed and reporting them as you see stuff happening or where you see stuff. Now, I'm not talking about the speed trap or something and saying, "Oh, police are set up here," or "Police are doing this," or "Watch out, they're on the Oglethorpe Bridge stopping people," or you know they're getting people at the Civic Center as they speed from Alabama into Georgia. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about, you know, if there's wanted people, if there's just been a burglary, like Mr. Will the other day posted the video of the guys breaking into his son's house. That's the kind of information that can be shared, the vehicle information, the fact that the vehicle was stolen, descriptions of people.
Take a pad and a pencil.
Yeah.
And keep it in your car. And you know what? If you're in your neighborhood and something looks suspicious, you see a suspicious vehicle, jot down a tag. Don't approach them. Don't approach anybody. And let me tell you something. Guess what? You can call 911 with a concern. Yes, they're going to answer. No, they're going to say, "Columbus 911, what is your emergency?" That's how they answer it. Okay, and a lot of people go, "Gosh, you know what? It's you know," and it doesn't have to be 3 o'clock in the morning. It can be 1:30 in the afternoon in the parking lot of Macy's. On that, if you see something that looks suspicious to you, call 911. And tell them, say, and you know what? You don't even have to give your name. You can sit there. They won't come see you. You can sit there and someone say, "Hey, I don't want to get involved. I'm out here at the parking lot of Macy's at Peachtree Mall, and there's a carload of guys out here, and there's something I just don't feel comfortable. Can you send an officer out here to check things out?" They're not going to say no.
Yeah.
They're going to say, "Okay, certainly, we'll get one right out there."
So,
and they'll do that.
Along with that, we've started this online on Tuesdays, okay? But that doesn't mean if you've got something you want to talk about that we couldn't get you on another day.
Absolutely.
Right here. If you've got a civic event, if you've got something you want to talk about, if something's happened to you and you want to come on and talk about it, you know, we can always get you on.
We both got Facebook pages too.
Yeah, send us a message. And if this takes off, and there's nowhere we can't go with this. Okay, we're at almost 15,000 right now. There's no reason, with your help, adding the good people that you know in your families, in your churches, in your schools, and your co-workers and stuff, why we can't grow this into a force to be reckoned with on both sides of the river. Okay?
I can tell you one thing.
And I'm telling you, Joe's not running for public office.
No.
I'm not running for public office.
No, we're not.
But we're tired of the crap that's going on.
I got 4 kids in 7th grade.
We're tired of the media asking the easy questions. Oh, is this true? No? Okay, well, we'll forget about it.
I can't tell you this, Eric. I can't tell you this, and I'm not. This is not sarcasm, and I'm not being funny, and I'm not being facetious. I go to a lot of council meetings. I go to a lot of school meetings. I can tell you what, right now, I can tell you at the Columbus Council meeting,
there's not enough people
if
coming.
50 people showed.
Yep.
I've seen 50 people. They wet their pants. They are nervous. Can you imagine? My Lord, can you imagine out of 15,000, if 10%, 1%, that's 150 people. If 150 people showed up at the Columbus Council meeting and was mad out there, and someone said, "We have had enough," and we get on the agenda, we all show, and literally we put one person on there, all 150 come up there in a big group around. I've done it. We had the mayor try to take the cross down at Heath Lake Park, and we had about 50 people come up there. We all got up there on the microphone together. We said, "You're not going to do this. It's not going to happen." Guess what? They tried to do it, and it didn't happen on that.
Yeah.
But if we have the power in our hand.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody knows anybody from the Winton Road, the Walgreens that got robbed earlier in the week, okay, if you're a coworker or you know that you shop down there, tell those people on the watch we would love to see the videotape of the guy walking in, because nobody's posted it yet. There's got to be some video of the guy coming in the doors, because Walgreens has some halfway decent cameras. There's got to be some video or some pictures of that guy, and we'd love, we'll come down and we'll get them. Okay,
Absolutely.
We'll come down and get it and post it on the watch.
By the way, yeah, you can always contact the watch. You can contact Eric Woodson on his Facebook page, on the watch's page. You can contact me, Joe Coley. You can give us a call, 706-940-0541. 706-940-0541 and give us a call. And if you have any information and you want it passed on, you don't want to go through the police department, you want to give it to us, and we'll pass it on.
And
No questions asked. No names or nothing.
Remind everybody, whether you're out in Beauregard, Beulah, Fort Mitchell, the small group over there, the Phoenix City Library area, with Miss Brooke over there, whether you're out in Salem, whether you're at Bleecker with Mr. Otis, whether you're in Auburn or Opelika, or you're in Valley,
Wherever you are.
we're going to link everybody together. We need everybody out there helping us out. You know,
Absolutely.
add 2 or 3 people, add 10 people. Tell people about the show. We're going to try and eventually get it linked every time we do a show. We're going to try and get it linked out to the pages. If the administrators of those pages will let us put it out there.
And I think we have good audio. Thanks to Ms. Pat for tech skills.
But come find the watch. Tell people about the watch. And
Get involved.
tell you what, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you later. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Joe Coley and Eric Woodson here.
Yeah.
Watch on that. Thanks.
Eric number 2.
Eric number 2. And Eric number 1 coming up in just a few minutes on the Ranger's Got a Country Show. Facebook Live. Stay with us for that. And that'll be on the Ranger's Got a Country Show Facebook Live. The Dempsey's Resolution Fitness Hour. I see him coming in there. He's going to pump you up. Okay, let's get going. Take care, everybody. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you for your service, Eric.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. I was in there Army too.